Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. We're going to be doing a top 15 today.
This time it's the best cards from both Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and the Adventures in Forgotten Realms Commander decks.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us, guess who? The Nitpicking Nerds, bringing you more daily content. So go check out the TCG player link in the description where you can buy cards you were going to buy anyway to support our daily content. And if you really like it and you want to support it in a bigger, better, cooler way, go to patreon.com. All the info is right there. You just need to pick a tier and then we'll love you forever.
Yes, forever. But not enough to make you uncomfortable. Going right into this video, let's just, it's a top 15. We're going to be telling you the top 15 must-haves, you should buy.
The best cards.
The best cards, whatever you want to call this. Because
strongest, they're all the same.
Clickbaitiest title.
Right. The cards, if you don't buy them, you will die in 5 seconds unless you click this video. I mean, that's probably what we're going to title it. Yeah. So the honorable mentions, real quick, they're not on the list, but the Book of Exalted Deeds and Dance Macabre, just really cool cards. They require you to jump through a lot of hoops, so they can't go in as many decks because that is somewhat of a factor.
Yes. So we'll start at number 15 here, and then we have Lolth.
Lolth,
whatever.
Lolth.
Spider Queen. 3 black, legendary planeswalker. Lolth enters with 4 loyalty. When a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on Lolth. 0, draw a card, and you lose 1 life. -3, create 2 2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. -8, you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control. If that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose equal to that difference. The reason this is here is it's really easy to ult, and it just makes you have to sneak through 1 damage on an opponent to deal 8, which is pretty strong.
Yeah, you slam this and then you fire off a board wipe, immediate ultimate. You can sacrifice 4 creatures, also an immediate ultimate, and then all your tiny things are just going to deal an extra 7 damage. You don't have to devote anything to attacks anymore. It's not going to end the game on the spot, but it's definitely going to put you in a privileged position.
Yes, it's not a broken card whatsoever, but it is strong, and we definitely like it for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. Number 14, Thorough Investigation. 2 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever you attack, you investigate. And whenever you sacrifice a clue, venture into the dungeon. So this actually gives you 1 card plus a little bit extra whenever you attack. You don't need any extra venturing to do. It kind of says every 4 clues you crack is 5 cards because there's a dungeon that when you fly through it for 4 ventures, you get to draw a card.
Yeah, this card isn't insane or anything, but white getting some card draw definitely feels good. If you're going to be attacking in your white decks usually because that's what white likes to do. So you can get some clues. You can sacrifice clues. If you could sacrifice some of the other effects, you can get free ventures. Like if you have a card that says sacrifice an artifact for free, that's also an upside because it says sacrifice a clue. It doesn't say you have to use the clue's own ability to do
the old tireless tracker text.
Yes.
When they emrakle you and you attack with a 10-10 tireless tracker. A Thorough Investigation I think is a really good card, but only in the Boros decks or maybe some other deck where you want clues.
Yes. Next we have Reckless Endeavor. 5 red for a sorcery. Roll 2 d12s and choose 1 result. Reckless Endeavor deals damage equal to that result to each creature. Then create a number of treasure tokens equal to the other result. This card is high ceiling, low floor.
You could whiff and hit a 2 and a 2 or a 3 and a 2. That's not likely to happen, just like hitting a 12 and 11 is not likely, but you don't need a 12 and 11 to make this card good. The average is really good. If you roll a 4 and a 7, you can either destroy all creatures, make 4 treasures, or destroy all small creatures and make 7 treasures and just pay this back and it was free.
Yeah, this card definitely has enough upside to be worth the times where it's going to be very bad. There's also ways to work with dice rolls if you're playing a dice roll type deck. So that's a plus. It's not, it's not that big of a plus, but it is a plus.
I think the floor on this card isn't too bad. You're never going to waste 7 mana. I think a really bad roll that is probably as bad as you're going to get is a 1 and a 3. But in that case, you can refund 3 of your mana and just take the mediocre destroy all tokens, destroy all 1/1 tokens avenue. And then, okay, you spent 4 mana to destroy all tokens and you have 3 to bank for next turn.
Obviously, the average rolls here are good. And that's what we care about. Your average roll is always going to make this card good. And you can only really plan for the averages. Yeah, there's going to be times when the 1 and I think it's 144 chance of rolling that 1-in-1 happens, and you have to deal with that. And that's something that's why this card isn't higher on this list. There is that chance, and those things are going to happen when playing this card. But as long as you're willing to accept that there is a randomness to this card, the upside is going to be worth it.
Yeah, if it was roll 2d20s, this would be like 5 spots up.
Oh, jeez, this card would be good.
It would be nuts.
I mean, just the times when you roll a 20 and a 20, it's like, what?
You don't even need a 20 and 20. You just need 120 because that's the treasure. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that would be really strong. I mean, a D12 is already, this card can be very good.
Yeah, -5 mana, destroy all creatures is kind of what, that's the potential of what this card can do. So it's really sweet. Can't wait to try it out. Next is you find some prisoners. 1 and a red for an instant, either destroy an artifact or you exile the top 3 cards of an opponent's deck and you can play one of them this turn. Really weird, but I think this is a nice, like, Abrade type card where it's like, okay, versatile removal spell that can also cantrip, and most of the removal spells cannot cantrip on the other side.
I would only consider this card in Grixis colors because you want the in green and white, there's infinite better options for destroying artifacts, and those things that artifacts are going to hit enchantments as well, so you don't really have to snoop down this low. But when you're in the Grixis colors, destroying artifacts can be a little tougher.
Right, and there's a chance to, if you need some kind of out, or you're looking for something, or it's your turn, you got a bunch of mana, and you don't know what to do with it, start off by, I don't even know what I could hit. I'm going to hit maybe an amazing spell, or definitely some spell that you can definitely cast.
Yes, like this card is a strange card, and I think it's very good on a budget. It's one that I don't think I will ever put or play in a deck. Oh, wait, that's false. I'm going to play it in my Tibalt deck.
Already an auto include in one of your decks.
Well, yeah, because the theme is playing my opponent's cards. So I'm going to play it in that deck. But I think, realistically, I wouldn't play this in a deck without some sort of theme or budget.
I think the card's good. I don't know.
Fair.
I think it's better than Abrade. That's what it's worth. Because when destroying something is not relevant, it replaces itself with a card.
Yeah, I guess I feel I'm on the opposite train. I don't like this card very much, but it's here because we do think it definitely has potential to be good.
I think it's just a good card. It's like one of those C level cards where you can play it and maybe sometimes it doesn't make the cut, but when it does, it's just a solid, rock solid little card. Moving on, what is number 11?
It's Loyal Warhound. 1 in the white for a 3/1 creature dog. It has vigilance. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for a basic plains, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. It's a worse Knight of the White Orchid, but I'm still in for it because it's a white ramp spell, and if you're playing a creature-based deck, you get to replace some other ramp spell, like an artifact, with a creature in your creature deck.
Yes, this is nothing flashy, nothing we haven't seen before, but it is one of the better white ramp spells they've made. It's just a worse version of Knight of the White Orchid, which is actually a pretty sweet card.
Yes. It's so weird because there's not much to talk about here. We talked about Knight of the White Orchid 100 times. This is a worse one. It's still good.
Yeah, nothing left to say. Let's move on to Teleportation Circle. 3 and a white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you flicker an artifact or a creature you control. We often poo-poo on Conjurer's Closet, and I'm still going to do that. And this is 1 mana less, can't hit artifacts. So I think those two increases in power put this way more into the realm of playability.
I agree. I think this card is actually good. I don't think it's just like the realm of playability. It's like, yeah, it's playable, but no, I think this card's just good. I think an end step trigger for 1 flicker is pretty decent. But if, again, we're bringing it down on cost. We're bringing the fact that you can just hit artifacts for extra bonus, whatever. All of a sudden, this card goes from being okay, middle of the road card like Conjurer's Closet to Teleportation Portal, which I am now actively looking to play.
Yes, this is a good circle. One of the best circles ever printed.
Is it the best? What about Circle of Protection White?
Circle of Loyalty? There's a couple different circles.
I think the best circle is this circle. We're going to have to... Somebody let us know in the comments if there's a better circle, but we're going to stick with Teleportation Circle for now.
For now. Number 9 is Klauth, Unrivaled Ancient. 5 red-green for a 4/4 with flying and haste. Whenever it attacks, you get mana equal to the total power of attacking creatures, but you can't spend it on abilities. You can only cast spells with it.
Yes, I think this card is very good. It just comes down. It immediately refunds 4 automatically, unless it gets instant speed removal. But we don't do dice removal, so you get to attack. If you have a 3-power creature, seems likely in red-green, then all of a sudden you're just getting all that mana back. Yeah, it can only be used on spells. But imagine that. Just put this in like just a Xenagos deck just for an example. That's 8 mana right away, and it's so easy. It's going to be so easy to attack with more creatures. Like I said, you're in red, you're in green. You're going to have those creatures on the battlefield. Getting upwards of 10 mana is going to happen. and those turns are going to be really crazy after you go through combat.
They can stop us from winning with Aggravated Assault and Hellkite Tyrant, but they can't stop us from just casting extra combat spell. We're still going to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, I really think this card has a very high skilling, and I'm looking forward to trying it out in Godzilla, my Godzilla deck.
This card is actually really similar to another card that's higher on the list, and I don't like that they're so similar, but they are both good, so they're both on this list.
Yes. I didn't think about it being that similar, but yes, it is very similar to that card. Next is Robe of Stars. 1 in the white for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +0/+3. 1 in the white, equipped creature phases out. It has equip 1. That really, really low equip rate makes me super interested in this card. I think me and BZ discussed it, and we said maybe the best way to play this card is get it on a creature, do your attacking, phase it out every single time. And you do it on your turn.
Yeah.
So if they try and play spot removal, you still have all your extra mana left up that you were going to use for other stuff, but now you're using it on second activation. I really do think doing that every single turn for your best creature, specifically a commander that you know your deck is built around, is going to be very strong.
Yeah, I was looking at this and I'm like, I don't want to play the game of spend all my mana except 2 every turn and hold it up and respond to something. But I really want to play the smash you. This doesn't exist. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think this is a good Magic card. Not only does the activation protect the creature, but because of the way phasing works, it also protects the equipment on it and any other auras or equipments attached to it. So you get to protect maybe 3-4 cards with this.
Yeah.
And just make sure you guarantee to untap with those. Doesn't matter if they Cyclonic Rift, they Toxic Deluge, any board wipe, any spot removal spell can't get this. And this card is great.
Yeah, and if you are worried about them responding, then you can have a turn where you smash, do your thing, whatever it needs to do for the turn, and then you leave up like 8 mana, because if that's so important that this game is revolving around it, all right, I'll spend my turn just passing and making you try to answer it, but you'll never be able to. This is good, very good, but maybe not for the reason it seems like initially.
Yeah, this card is, I read it and I'm like, this card seems kind of good. And then like,
I was like, this card seems kind of bad.
Yeah, it was a good, it's just like one of those classic things where it's so good that we work together as a team, because it's like, I might have put it like too high, he might have put it too low, but it's like we came to a consensus like, oh yeah, this card does have a lot of applications and you can do a lot with it.
Really solid.
I think if you look cards on the face value, when you look at them, this is the worst one. It just looks so bad. It just looks awful.
Yeah.
But then you step back, it's like, no, that card is good.
Yes, I'm going to try it in my God Eternal Ketra. It just looks like exactly what that deck wants to do, because the problem is you fold to a board wipe, but then when you untap with Oketra, you just play 2 creatures and now your board's back.
It's also playing Stoneforge Mystics, and it's playing Enlightened
Steel Shaper's
Tutor
Gift.
and Steel Shaper's Gift. It's just playing tons of ways to get it already. I mean, it's another piece of the toolbox when you're playing your equipment decks.
It looks better than Lightning Greaves in that it actually does protect your commander from stuff, unlike Lightning Greaves, which
Everything
protects your commander from like 30% of stuff.
We explained we did that before. Would you play a card that said my creature gains haste and protection from 30% of things that might kill it?
You know what it seems like? It seems like turning your commander into Hacktos. It's like choose a number. All right, you got protection from everything except that number.
All right, I gotta move on. We're getting stuck on this card, but it is good. It really
oh my
is.
God, it's a better circle.
No.
How did we? How stupid do we look?
Their own list.
Circle of Dreams Druid. G for a 2/1. It taps to Gaia's Cradle. You tap for each creature you control and you get a green.
Yeah, this card is great. If you want to make sure it can tap for 4 and up, and when it's doing that, it's going to be not only a great card, but one of the better cards in your deck.
Budget Gaia's Cradle. You know, I mean, I don't like the clickbait, it's Gaia's Cradle, because it's not Gaia's Cradle, but it is a budget alternative to that card that lets you take advantage of having so many creatures.
When you play cards like this that you need to untap with, card I love, and it's actually not that expensive right now, but very good in EDH, is Court of Calling for cards like this.
Oh.
It's such a nice end of turn, especially because you're going to have creatures to court with. You end the turn, tap like 3 of your creatures and 3 of your lands, go get this untapped with an extra like 6 mana that nobody saw coming.
You got your 1,000-year elixirs, you got your Scrib Rangers and your Aquarian Rangers, and like cards that just untap this and you just go crazy.
Yeah.
We're not talking non-infinite, because obviously when you make infinite mana, you just win. But there's cards that, non-infinitely untap this that you're going to be thrilled to play.
Very strong Magic card. Just stellar, as the kids say.
Put it in your deck. Only if your deck fits the theme. You can't just play it on any deck, but go ham.
Yes. Next we have a land. It is Treasure Vault. It taps for colorless mana, or you can play XX and sacrifice it to make X treasures. This card's awesome because it's an artifact land. So there's tons of ways to tutor up artifacts. You can get it onto the battlefield. And then I love it as like kind of like I loosely compare it to a storage land where it's like you just get to store up half your mana from last turn and put it into the next big turn. Anything that's going to use the treasures, the tokens, anything like that, 2 thumbs up.
The worst this card really can do is spend your whole turn doing nothing and then create X treasures where X is half your mana. Then you untap with all your mana plus half as treasures. So that's probably the worst. And the best case, you're tutoring this for like Trinket Mage. You're putting it on the field with some artifact tutor that now ramps you. This card is great.
Yeah, I love it. That's another target for your Tezzerets who you love I love the Tezzeret -0 get an artifact land. Now you -0 get a better artifact land with some upsides.
Yeah, this is one with abilities. There's the tap duels and the untapped single colors, but this is an artifact land.
Funny. They're going back to the artifact land design. They definitely they made the mistakes of just untapped nat ones coming in, and like I think those scared them for a long time. And then like Modern Horizons 2, they put those in, and now they're doing it again. It's like, all right, they're steering back towards some lands can actually be artifacts, which I like.
Yeah, I think they just don't care about the affinity thing, because I think old affinity probably still plays 20 treasure vaults if they can.
Yeah.
If it's a basic land that's either just going to slam it, it's better than the off-color single color artifact lands.
Yeah, of course.
Moving to number 5, we have Lorcan, Warlock Collector. He collects warlocks. 5 black for a 6/6 devil with flying. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may pay life equal to its mana value. If you do, reanimate it, and it's a warlock in addition to its other types. If a warlock you control would die, exile it instead.
There's one key to this card. Very, very important. Setup. Make sure you're set up to take advantage of it right away. This is a 7 mana do nothing in quotation marks. You need to have the setup on board to take advantage of it in some way. Don't just cast this on a board. It's gonna die. Mm-hmm. It's got a big red target on its chest saying, kill me before I run away with this game.
Yeah, it's like a Razaketh level of get this off the field right now or things are going to get real ugly.
Yes. So you make sure you have ways to mill or make them sack creatures. I think this will go great in an Aristocrats type deck where you're playing your Dictative Erebos and your Grave Packs. Ooh. I really like that because you can just keep going. You can make them basically sack all their creatures.
It's Plague Wind, but you get everything else because if they all sack one creature, okay, cool. 3 more Warlocks, sack one of the Warlocks, they sack 3 creatures, cool. 3 more Warlocks. Just play life gain in your deck and you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Oh, here we go, right? You got Sangromancer in this with like Blood Artist effects. So when you're killing them, they pay for themselves.
That's super strong. This card has a high ceiling. Like I said, it's super important that you do the setup before you put this on the battlefield. Do not just slam this and go ahead.
Yeah, you play your Altar of Dementia and then just chain over and over and just get their stuff until you find something amazing.
Yeah, especially if you know they have a Gary in the deck. I'm looking for your Gary.
Come on, baby. Gary needs a new pair of Garys.
Gary needs a new pair of Garys. Classic saying.
Good quote.
Yes. So we're going to be moving into number 4. It's Klauth's Will. X, red, green. Instant. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both. Flame Breath. Klauth's Will deals X damage to each creature without flying. Smash Relics. Destroy up to X target artifacts and or enchantments. This is one of those cards when I was reading it made me go, wow.
Oh boy.
Straight up, wow. It is so awesome. It's 1 more mana and it's like Heal Edge Intervention, but if you control your commander, you get to board wipe all the ground creatures and all the artifacts and enchantments you want to get rid of. Absolutely, just so great.
But it's not even a board wipe. You choose. Keep your biggest ground creature if you have the biggest thing in play. It's a Plague Wind then. You have all flyers? It's a Plague Wind. And also blow up all their mana rocks too.
This card is very, very strong. The fact of the matter is it's a Heal Edge Intervention, which is already a very good card.
Yeah.
That also doubles as a board wipe. And not only that, this is an instant. This is an instant speed board wipe for ground creatures. Holy crap, this card's awesome.
This does everything. I like that it's a will, which makes me think that maybe we'll get more of these because it says that, if you control your commander and it's a will, you do both. I love Klauth's Will.
I think the wills are really awesome design space is for the commander format. And yeah, I really hope they do continue using that card design.
All right, top 3 time. This is the dragon I was mentioning that's very similar to Klauth and Klauth's Will, I guess. Old Gnawbone. 4 green, green, green for a 7/7 Flampler. Now, whenever you deal combat damage, you get X treasures, where X is the amount of combat damage you're dealt. You attack with 10 3/3s and they all connect, you get 30 treasures.
Yeah, so this card is very strong. You just get a ton of mana out of him for basically nothing. It's the main thing. This card reminds me a lot of Lorcan. It's all about setup. Make sure your board is ready to go for a big attack, then slam him, use all your mana for the turn, and then you swing in, deal like a solid 10 damage because you're probably a big old stompy deck, and then get 10 treasures and go nuts again.
This card does go infinite with Aggravated Assault and Hellkite Tyranny. You just need to make enough damage to push through, and you're killing people.
It's pretty easy considering Old Gnawbone is a 7/7.
Right, and you're going to have like leftover mana every time you hit people, because if you're getting 10 and you only need 5 or 6 to make an extra combat, then you can devote the extra mana to killing the other blockers in your way.
Yeah, old Gnawbone.
Old Gnawbone, really good. Possibly the broken 5th treasure maker, but people were also mentioning Tireless Provisioner, which is a very good card.
That is also a very good card. So maybe that's the green one.
I wasn't sure. I was like, it could be either one.
Yeah,
I would say I will defer to Tireless Provisioner if Old Gnawbone doesn't perform as well as we think.
Yeah, but it does look pretty dang strong. Number 2 is Guardian of Faith. 1 white for a creature, spirit, knight, 3/2. Flash, vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, any number of other target creatures you control phase out. This is some nice board wipe protection, and the reason we have it so highly on here is because it is a creature. It protects your creatures, and it's a creature. That's what we want. It's so nice to have that.
Okay, hear me out. Ready? You're gonna equip this with the Robe of Stars. So now this also phases out, and then you're gonna use Teleportation Circle, and then flicker it every turn. So your whole board just keeps phasing out.
Well, that won't work exactly because the Robe will come off when you flicker it.
Well, you put that on the stack and maybe you do something, and I don't know. But this is cool with the Teleportation Circle.
It is cool with the Teleportation Circle. You can keep all your creatures safe, but it also leaves you pretty open to attacks if you're constantly phasing out your team.
A little bit.
Yeah,
this is mostly for board wipe survival, and it's going to survive any board wipe. It's the budget Teferi's protection. It's close to that power level. It's really good.
Yeah, and on top of protecting you from board wipes, it also protects you from spot removal and like other little things that might just be interacting and annoying your creatures.
Yeah, White's doing a bunch of phasing stuff now, I guess. Maybe we'll stack some card draw into this phasing. How about that? Whenever a creature phases in, you draw a card.
That seems really good with Teferi's protection. I'll draw 7 cards. I wonder why they haven't done that yet.
Because they don't want White to draw cards.
Oh, yeah, that's the reason. And the number 1 card from both of these sets, when I saw this card, I went, really?
The Tim Allen.
Wow. It is Druid of Purification. 3 and a green for a 2/3 creature, human, druid. When Druid of Purification enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player may choose an artifact or enchantment you don't control. Destroy each permanent chosen this way. The first thing you might think is, they don't have to choose. Why in God's name would your opponents not take the free value train that is this card?
I think the one downside of this card is that you might sometimes end up in the Razor Hippogriff dilemma, where they go, well, it's net positive for everyone, but overall it's net negative for everyone because each individual decision is positive, but it means you're so far ahead. So they might go nothing, but you still get one.
Yeah, I could see maybe 2 players making a deal, but even if 2 players make a deal, you're probably getting 2.
Right. They're gonna try to make this card not completely insane, but it's actually completely insane.
Yeah, I just don't foresee players saying no. I'm not gonna refuse the value.
Right.
The best thing on the field's already gone. The player who played it already got that choice. I'm choosing the next best thing.
Right.
I get it. You can make deals to potentially protect your stuff, but the only way I think you can really get away with that is if everybody has another artifact or enchantment they want to be protecting. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen like that. This is going to be a 2, 3, 4 for 1 almost every single time.
Totally. And if you want to get even deeper into the nonsense, it's not going to work every time to make a deal, because then the last person gets to go, never mind, blow up Mana Crypt.
Yeah, they can just betray you immediately.
And we would love for that to happen because we want all of it dead.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this card, honestly, it is the best card, and it's easily going to get 4 for 1s all the time. Why would you not? I know when Beezy slams this or anyone slams it, I'm going in. I'm not gonna. You're like, okay, I'll destroy that guy's. Thing. Okay, I'll destroy a treasure. It's free.
Yeah.
Why would I not destroy the treasure? It's literally free. Even if it's the only other artifact, there's no reason for me not to target it.
Well, keep in mind, actually, what I'm saying is the really important aspect to what I'm saying is you have to be really far ahead for any of that backstabbing and deal making to even occur. Because if you're not ahead, someone else is ahead, and then everyone's going to happily bully the heck out of them.
Yeah. It's not going to, like, the situation you're describing can happen.
Yeah.
I think it's next to never.
I'm saying it's the only downside of this card, which is fantastic.
Yes, I think it's 1 in 50 that'll happen. Mm-hmm. The other 49 times, it's a 4-for-1.
Yes, and I think even when you do the 1 in 50, you'll feel bad after and be like, oh, crap, I should have just blown it up.
Yeah, all right. Let's end this video here. Special shout outs to every single one of our patrons. You guys are so awesome. Seriously, you don't understand how much we appreciate you. Like, you couldn't, because you just don't know.
You don't even know.
You don't even know. You guys are so awesome. Love you all as much as we can without making you comfortable. Keep scrolling on screen. Make this longer. Make us do longer tidbits because you guys won't go away because you're so freaking awesome.
At some point, our end of videos are just going to be 10 minutes and we're just going to be the happiest guys ever. We're going to make a 2-minute drama video being like, this card sucks. All right, thanks to our patrons. And then we're going to have to talk for 10 minutes because we'll have so many of you guys and it'll be amazing. Also, link in the description, TCG Player. Go to the link. Then you can navigate to where you want, buy the cards, and check out. Or start with a cart, then hit our link and just check out from there. The card will be saved. Save time. Give us money. You spend nothing extra. It's just a no-brainer. I mean, come on. It's even better than Druid of Purification.
Yeah, literally free value. You help the channel that you love, and we know that. And then we get like good feels, and we go, oh, they love us.
Yeah, as I like to say, you'd be losing money if you didn't do it.
You would be losing money if you didn't buy Magic cards.
Well, time is money.
Using TC Blue.
Time is money, and you're watching our videos, which create enjoyment over time. But by using the TCG Player link, you make our videos more enjoyable, which makes your time more enjoyable, which gives you money. It's basically free. It's actually positive for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, tidbit about our lives. I have a little one.
Literally.
It's literally. So you guys might notice I'm wearing a Band-Aid.
He's injured.
It's an injury that was so random. So I went over to my aunt's house today and I walk up to the back door and like there's a screen. I look through and like my aunt's standing there and their dog. All of a sudden, her dog just runs through the screen, literally knocking the screen down. I caught the screen as it was falling, and it cut my hand, and it cut it deep. Like, if it was a wider gash, it would have needed stitches, 100%.
So, what happened to the dog? Did someone just grab it, or was there a fence?
My aunt just yelled at it. It was going to the porch. It goes on to, it's a door that leads to like a porch.
Okay.
So like the dog was fine. The thing was wrong with the dog. It just knocked over the door, and then like I stood it up and put it back, and it like fell and like tapped me in the head, and you would have thought that it killed her.
It's like a death wail.
I really think it tapped her. But I love my aunt. No, I'm not trying to be mean, but it literally looked like it like, oh my!
She went for like the Tekken death sound.
Yeah. Oh my god. But that is the rest of this video. I think this thing is done, Scone. What do you think?
It's done.
It's done. Okay. Peace out, Tribe Scout.